Film club.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes to yes. What was the question?
Yes to no sometimes. Thank you very much for joining this episode of Film Club. I'm one of your hosts, Andy Harrison. To my right, as always, it's the yes man, Andy Donaldson.
I was about to do something weird then.
The definitive best ending to Fallout New Vegas. Yes, man. Every single week in Film Club, we invite you along to watch a film with us. We dive into some of cinema's best, but coming back here to talk it out. Andy, $1 Million Baby. What do you think?
Fucking hell. I don't, please.
Go on, what do you think?
It will fucking annoy me. I thought, fuck off. I think it's a great film. I think it's Clint Eastwood. So we'll go back at stuff like The Unforgiven that we did before. We did Gran Torino. And I always said in those films, I mistook those films as the one where Clint Eastwood does the all four. He does the music, the directing, the producing, the writing, and obviously the acting. So that's actually 5. But it was the producing part I missed. And I was fucking weird today, you. And I was wondering if like that moment where it all comes together. And The Unforgiven obviously is one of those moments where everything comes together. And Gran Torino was great. Wasn't the one that I was thinking of. It was $1 Million Baby. Basically, $1 Million Baby is the one where it fucking comes together. And rewatching this again after years. I mean, we're talking years since I watched this. Obviously, that heart-wrenching moment at the end, I always knew it was going to come, but I forgot about the build-up to that moment, and I forgot how much of that build-up was leading to that moment, and I forgot how much after that moment was there. So I knew that there, but I took everything else in coming in. But in amongst that, I was looking at stuff like the cinematography. I was listening more about the music after learning that Clint Eastwood wrote it, and obviously like focusing more on the performance. What a film!
Yeah, like the way you just described it is exactly what I was thinking. Where like when we went to Gran Torino, I came out of Gran Torino being a bit like, oh, I was expecting more from it, given what people's opinions are.
All right, okay.
$1 Million Baby was bloody brilliant.
Yeah, and considering it's like I mean, you said yourself you're not huge in sports films. We don't watch many sports films, especially like stuff like fighting and boxing and stuff.
When did I say that?
I think we were going about Rocky, and you said it's a sports biopic, and it's not something I'm too.
No. I criticised the genre, not my opinion on it.
Apologies, I'll take that back.
I will accept your apology once and only once. Make a note of it in the comments. We will no longer accept apologies from this man.
So it's just going back there, and it's not. I don't really go out there and watch many sports kind of biographies and everything like that. There's still many more that I need to go and see. There's stuff that you need to go and see, Moneyball. And you just come back here, and it's a drama through and through. It's not a sports biography, it's a drama. It's a drama about someone who is at rock bottom but has a goal and wants to achieve their dream. It's going to go at nothing because they have the heart and the ambition. As Morgan Freeman narrates at the start of the film, has the heart and ambition to get the top. And it's Clint Eastwood's his character. It's his understanding. It's Frank, isn't it?
Let's call him Frank, if not.
I don't have my phone.
Could you please call him Boss?
Boss. It's Boss's understanding. Is the way he kind of like sees that in it, then progresses through, and you can see his heart, his ambition in it itself. But he's almost like he's given up, especially after Big Thingy guy. The what's his name? It's actually Luke Cage. After because he's his old.
Oh my God, it's Luke Cage.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that.
Well, Luke Cage is in this. Falcon's in this. Michael Penner, who's Ant-Man's gaffer.
This for anyone who's not sure. Obviously based on a story, based on a book or a short story.
I think it's a short story. It could be a book.
And I think with that, you lose a couple elements, right? Obviously, recently we did things like Rocky, and ages ago we did Raging Bull. Very obviously both sports films, both boxing films. With this, you get more stylized, like Hollywoodized fights. You know, the fights are very much like she's knocking people out in the first round.
Yeah.
It's not trying to be grounded or realistic in any respect like that. It's trying to kind of like it plays into some sort of like Hollywood cliches and things, but it always transcends those cliches.
But I think at the same time, whilst yes, you say that it uses that, the film's, I'm not saying that you disagree with this, the film's focus is behind the doors and everything behind the scenes of it.
Yep.
Besides, obviously,
the same stuff that made Rocky and Raging Bull work.
And the pivotal moment actually does stem from the ring, where in the ring she gets that horrible fighter goes from the backhanded punch when she's got her back to her, and ultimately like leads to the end where she's paraplegic.
Who is apparently the fighter who does that to her is apparently her trainer.
Something I read that I don't know if it's her that trained
Hilary Swank.
Thank you, I forgot that. Hilary Swank. or it was that trainer, someone else, that trainer, like part of her crew. I know one of the people that be in this film was actually the trainer for the boxing, Hilary Swank.
While we're on the subject of, we need to just carve out a good chunk of this talk right now to talk about Hilary Swank.
She was insanely fucking amazing.
She destroys this role.
I know, like, it's dedication to the next level. You talk about, like, you look at the character's dedication, you look at, like, how much she wants to be there. You look at Hilary Swank, it's like, I want to be that fucking character, and she nails it.
Yep, and Clint Eastwood apparently, like, prior to casting her, was thinking, like, she's great, she's wonderful. I'm not sure she doesn't have the right physique. Like, she needs to put on some weight. She needs to get into shape. And like, just from a physical point of view, throughout this film, I completely forgot I wasn't watching a trained boxer. And like, is that not the best compliment you can give someone in this?
Yeah, she was just dedicated to it. But what I love about that is, yes, you forget that you're not seeing a trained boxer, but in amongst that, all those moments where she's a rookie, she's trying to go for it, she's failing the punches. You're not watching an actress trying to be a boxer. You're watching a rookie boxer, and you believe it's a rookie boxer. She does both parts so well. And in amongst that, obviously you got the outside of the ring, you got the stuff that she does really well with her dedication to boss, her that like half the good and bad love that she has for her family. She goes and buys them a house. Then at the end, she sees them for who they truly are. Just a bunch of kind of weasels. There's a great word to call people weasel. I don't know why.
Weasels and jesters.
Yeah. And it's just really good, seeing that. It's a character arc in the end.
It's the grey space that's provided to it. It's not just good and bad.
Yeah.
I think this is what I mean by it always transcends its cliches. It's very easy to write that into look how purely evil her family are, and look how good Clint Eastwood is.
Yeah.
That's not always the case. They often let certain things set within a grey area, while still maintaining their original purpose. Like this film, I read a wonderful quote from Clint Eastwood. He was defending the film in lots of respects, but we'll get on that in a second. What he described this as was being about the American dream, and I can totally get on board with this.
Yep.
This is about the sort of mythology it's built up around America and Americana, and how that is slowly eroded over the time, and how when you shine a more realistic light on it, it starts to crumble and fall. And within that, somebody who still fights every step of the way to get where they want to be, and is mostly successful about it.
Moving on, let's talk about Clint Eastwood, yeah? How the fuck does he do it? How the fuck does he do it? I was thinking, I was looking at
Are we talking about directing,
That's
acting?
That's what I mean. I can kind of understand the composition, the fact that he's come out with these lovely guitar tracks and everything. You look back in Gran Torino, he wrote the song at the end of that. It's really nice. It helps with the scene. It all comes together. I don't know.
This man is too talented.
I know.
He's too talented.
But I can see you can do that post film. But I'm thinking about those moments where he's acting away and he's thinking, how does he know when to cut? How does he know if it's a good scene? I know you have a secondary assistant director, but still those moments are defining, and there is a lot built on his gruffness, is how he is, and it's just he just fucking knows himself and what to do. And amongst that, he's producing the film, he's writing this amazing story as well. Screenplay probably, because as I said, it's an adaptation, slight adaptation. But my point is, it still goes forth. This film is so engaging. The pacing is brilliant. I mean, the fact that we.
So I was thinking that because in the past couple of weeks, there's been a few films where we've talked about pacing and stuff and issues. I think Rambo, it came up as well.
Yes.
For this, it's it's one of those films that I think we've brought up a couple times in Film Club, where we talk about things feeling like this big temporal compression. Yeah, we experience a year, I think, of their lives, a year and a half, 18 months of their lives we get to see in this film. And the film just keeps moving. And one of the smartest things that he implements in order to kind of maintain some of that structure and in order to maintain our focus is Morgan Freeman's voiceover.
I know, man. I'm so glad. We talk about cliches, and nowadays it's a running joke that it's not a bad thing. That Morgan Freeman's voice is what's the thing you want to hear before you die? Morgan Freeman's voice sort of thing. Is the ability to narrate is exceptional. You look at stuff like when we did Shawshank Redemption a few weeks back.
I'd say this is up there with Shawshank in some ways.
I would.
There's less of it, and he has less work to do within the voiceover.
But he's nailed that kind of the kind of the caretaker character, the guy that's mates with the main gaffer, with boss, sort of thing. He's the one that's reflecting. He's looking at the whole situation, taking a step back and reflecting and narrating his reflections.
Apparently he actually at one point, pre Clint Eastwood, he was going to be Frank. He was going to be boss.
Oh, really?
And it was apparently, obviously we can't speak for definite, but it was his decision to go for the role that he's in instead.
No way.
Because he just felt like he could portray that character better than he could the lead.
I feel this has got a lot of influence, and especially Morgan Freeman's got a lot of influence from his character as Red in Shawshank, because it's similar role sort of things and everything like that. Obviously very different as well.
There's also some similarities to his role in Unforgiven.
Oh yeah. Good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
There was a real concern at one point. You know when all the guys have tricked him into going clean up the toilet and then start beating up Danger.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, he's gonna die. I was like, don't do it again, Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Don't. But that's a wonderful scene.
Yeah.
And I think a perfect example as to why Morgan Freeman was probably the best casting they could have had for him.
Yeah. Not that. Yeah. So there's that there, and he just. The whole thing just fits together well. One thing that really struck me, and I'm sure you'll go on about, was the cinematography of this film.
Gorgeous.
I know those greens and those kind of like it's what you said there when you're about the American Dream, and like this build up there, and it's like you put a light on it, it shatters, and that kind of green, that kind of like dull kind of like amateurism about the whole film.
Because it's perfect. It's like if the American Dream is like saturated primary colors, and if it's lit by daylight, and if it's lit mainly by tungsten, if you want to go inside, instead what you get, the reality is fluorescent lighting.
Yeah, fluorescent lights and
you
green,
get horrible overlit
like
stuff,
dingy
and then
bathrooms and everything.
you get too many shadows. You
The
basically get a noir level of shadow in this film.
It's the shadows is one of the things that brought me into this like kind
Just
of
like
moment.
the perfect moments where like Clint Eastwood and Morgan Freeman both get those stepping out the shadow moments.
Oh my days.
There's
so
stuff
good.
later on where it's like a close up on, I think they're having the meal and there's just shadow cast across their faces.
Yeah.
And like it gives you this sort of like uneasy feeling throughout the film at times. It gives you a sort of claustrophobic feeling, which I guess intentionally is like it's supposed to parallel what's going on with those characters. You know, they're meant to feel a little bit trapped.
Check who the cinematographer is.
Refuse. You go, Connor.
Because something else I want to mention, moving on from the cinematography, is the editing. The editing in this film is amazing. It uses a lot of fade between moments, but you look at the little montages and everything, and how it builds up, and it just shows. It tells. You said there was something. There's a phrase where it tells a story in 4 clips or something Russian or something. I might be about something
Soviet
wrong.
montage.
Maybe. It might be a Soviet montage, it might not be. My point is, in such a small space of time, it tells you such an amazing moment, amazing story and everything. And it's the same editor that we used on Unforgiven and Gran Torino. It's the same one that's worked with Clint Eastwood for ages. He knows what Eastwood wants. I assume that Clint Eastwood was there in the editing room saying, I want it like this. But the editor is fucking amazing. How he's managed to transition those scenes and have like the audio continue forwards, it's showing something else is amazing, especially when it comes to stuff like Morgan Freeman's voice.
So just to answer your question from earlier, the cinematographer is a guy called Tom Stern.
Yeah.
He's also the same guy that would later do Gran Torino.
Sorry, yes, this is before Gran Torino. My apologies, I'm thinking it's after. Yeah, my apologies. Yeah, it's before Gran Torino. Yeah.
So, I mean, there's
unreal
$1
film.
Million Baby. If you haven't seen it, you have to go see it. It's a wonderful piece of modern cinema. It's so fun. And that's like really weird given the subject matter.
Yes.
It's such an engaging film. But you can let us know what you thought of $1 Million Baby if you've seen it down in the comments below, or you can hit Andy up on Twitter. There's only going to be one lower third this week. And yeah, like we talked before about the missing up of the bottom and the lower and thirds. People are going to miss that one day.
I know.
Next week, we're going back once again where we are going to take a look at
The Departed.
The Departed.
So check out The Departed with a really good cast.
Until then,
And keep like watching it.
keep watching.
That made no sense.